No matter if you're running a high-end stereo system or an AV surround sound home theater setup, you should be running some form of power conditioning instead of a regular, plain old power strip or even plugging your gear straight into the wall. In this video, I will explain exactly why this is so important. Please leave a like and let's get to it. Alright, so before we dive into why you might actually need a power conditioner, let's take a good look at this one, the Taga Harmony PF-1000LPS, and let's see what it's all about. First things first, this device feels solid, like really solid. It's got good weight to it, it's not light and flimsy at all. I wouldn't recommend dropping it, so be careful as it can cause some serious damage to whatever it lands on. The whole outside case or chassis is made of metal, which is always a good sign. Metal is tougher and it also helps block out any interference that could mess with your sound. It acts like an additional form of shielding from electromagnetic and radio waves that could otherwise get into the electricity and eventually into your audio components. Looking at the front, it's pretty simple and clean. Nothing too fancy except for one nice feature. But everything you need is right here. You've got the main power switch, it clicks nicely when you turn it on and off. It's not a cheap one from AliExpress that a DIY fan would put into their project. After all, electricity is passing through the power switch. So if you get a truly terrible one, it can cause signal degradation, increased resistance, or even heat up excessively, leading to some damage. One super important thing on the front is the VU meter styled voltage indicator. It's not just a fancy, useless addition. It actually tells you something useful. Basically, this switch shows you the actual current voltage coming from your wall outlet. Now, why is this that important? Well, the voltage from your power company isn't always stable. It can fluctuate up and down a bit, and those variations can actually affect the performance of your equipment. If the needle is bouncing around a lot or sitting way outside that range, it indicates that something is happening. For example, that a device on the line is drawing a lot of current, or that there is an unexpected rise of resistance. This meter gives you a quick visual check to see if the voltage is within a good range. You will usually want it to be around 220 to 240 volts in Europe. It's not like you'll be staring at the meter all the time, but it's a handy way to keep an eye on things. If you have ever experienced issues with your audio, like hums, buzzes, or a general lack of clarity, checking the voltage meter is a first good step in troubleshooting. It helps you rule out any potential problems with your incoming power. The meter itself is pretty easy to read. It's got a nice scale, and the needle moves smoothly. It's likely not going to be super precise like a professional multimeter, but it gives you a good general idea of what's going on with your voltage. Now, the important part, the outlets. This thing has 8 of them, which should be enough for most simple setups. They are spaced out well, so you can plug in even those big power bricks or large barrel plugs without blocking other outlets. And the outlets themselves feel really firm and secure. When you plug something in, it stays put. It's not loose or wobbly at all, which is a good sign of quality. You don't want to see your plugs falling out. If we flip the unit to the back, you will see where the power cord connects. It's a standard connector, so if you ever wanted to try a different power cord, you could. We have a few more interesting elements to talk about, including a DC output, a voltage selector for that output, and something called Polarity. I'll break it down later. Even the little things are done well. It has these rubber feet on the bottom, so it sits nicely on your rack or floor, and it doesn't slide around. It also helps keep vibrations down, which is good for sound quality. Overall, the PF-1000LPS is built really well. It's not trying to be super flashy or anything, but it's practical and it feels like it's built to last. From the black metal case, which is also available in silver, to the solid outlets, everything feels quality. It's a tool designed to do its job and it looks like it can handle it. Phase detector. This is a really handy feature. The phase detector checks if the polarity of your incoming AC power is correct. Incorrect polarity can sometimes cause hum or other noise issues in your system. This detector helps you identify and correct any potential issues, ensuring optimal performance at all times. Some audio devices tend to sound better if the polarity is correct, and a little bit different when it's reversed. Unlike some cheaper power supplies that are built in, which use switching mode technology, the PF-1000LPS uses a high-quality linear power supply for its DC and USB outputs. Linear power supplies are known for providing cleaner, fuller, and more stable power, which can make a noticeable difference in the sound quality of connected devices. With the help of those USB outputs, you can connect audio devices and get all the benefits of a linear PSU. Even the internal fuses are designed with audio quality in mind. The use of audiophile-grade fuses further contributes to the clean power delivery of this unit. The 3-tier filtering network is what really sets this power conditioner apart. The first 2 tiers of filtering work on the incoming AC power from your wall. The first tier is the device's own internal filtering system, and the second tier is provided by the beefy Toroidal transformer. Together, they work to filter out noise and interference from your mains power. The third tier of filtering is specifically designed for the DC output and USB ports. This dedicated filtering ensures that the devices powered by those outputs receive the cleanest possible power. Finally, let's talk about the DC output, as you're not very likely to encounter this on other power filters. They, in combination with the included connectors, allow you to use them with a variety of DC powered devices to bring them to another level. Using cheap, stock switch mode power supplies is often detrimental to sound quality, but manufacturers still repeatedly include them to save cost. You get a total of 8 Schuko type outlets. 4 of these are direct, meaning they provide unfiltered power, while the other 4 are filtered to reduce noise and interference. All of these operate at 230 to 240 volts, which is the standard voltage in many European countries. The DC output has 6 selectable voltages: 5, 9, 12, 15, 19 and 24 volts. It can provide up to 3 amps of current, which translates to a maximum power of 72 watts. There are 2 USB-A ports, both providing 5 volt power. They offer a combined power output of 2.1 amps, which is enough to charge most smartphones and other USB-powered devices like DACs. The PF-1000LPS has a total power load of 10 amps or 2500 watts. This is the total combined power for all the AC outlets, the DC output and the USB ports. The noise filtering is rated at greater than -10 decibels between 2 and 100 MHz. So it's not a snake oil device. It can measurably decrease the amount of noise on the line. But the big question is, why do you even need a power conditioner in the first place? This is probably the most crucial reason. Power surges, spikes, and other electrical anomalies can seriously damage or even kill your valuable audio equipment. These events can come from various sources, like lightning strikes, power outages, or even just turning on and off other appliances in your home. A good power conditioner acts like a shield, protecting your gear from these potentially damaging events. Think of it as insurance for your audio investment. It's much cheaper to replace a power conditioner than a whole stack of expensive HiFi components or a high-end AV receiver. Your home's electrical wiring can be a source of noise and interference that can degrade the audio quality. This noise can manifest as hums, buzzing, or a general lack of clarity in your sound. Power conditioners filter out this unwanted noise, providing cleaner power to your end equipment. This results in a noticeable improvement in sound quality with a lower noise floor, better clarity, and improved detail retrieval. A cleaner input signal means a cleaner, more accurate sound. It isn't always perfectly stable. It can fluctuate throughout the day. A power conditioner helps to regulate the voltage, providing a more consistent and stable power supply. This ensures that your equipment is always performing at its best, regardless of the time of day. This consistency is especially important for sensitive audio components like amplifiers, preamps, and DACs, which can be particularly susceptible to voltage variations. These benefits apply to all types of audio setups, from simple stereo systems to complex home theaters. It's not just about getting louder sound, it's about getting better sound and protecting the gear you've invested in.